What's up, YouTube? So before we get started, on Undisputed, they're going to be going over a situation that happened last night with Russell Westbrook. Apparently, Russell Westbrook, and some of the fans got into it. So let's see what they have to say about that.
Why is this in here?
I am waiting for Jerry Jones to drop the bombshell today.
He did. He got a yacht.
Oh, he got a yacht.
Yeah, 2 months.
I want him to get a yacht named Earl Thomas.
No.
Yeah.
You got 15 million laying around somewhere?
I might. I could help. I could help.
Wishful
here we go.
thinking on today's show are the Eagles now the team to beat in the NFC East. We're going to go there. And is it time to point the finger at Magic Johnson for the Lakers' struggles? We got to point finger somewhere. We are going to start with a serious incident, though. Okay, Shannon.
So at face value, I think it was just a bunch of talking, a little bit of arguing. The main person I want to look at would probably be Westbrook, because Westbrook, you have to know that there's going to be fans out there that are going to try and push your buttons to try to make you do something so they can get their payday. It's hard. It sucks that you have to not take abuse, but you have to listen to it. But you have to be the bigger man in this instance, because you're kind of bigger than they are. You're more important than they are. They're coming to see you. You have more to lose than they do. So you just kind of have to ignore it. Now, I know we got personal. Someone said something about someone's wife or something like that, but you have way too much more to lose than they do. They've got nothing but to gain. So let's keep going on.
Is this inbounds or out of bounds by Russ?
Everything was inbounds until Russ threatened his wife. It's hard for me to believe, Skip Bayless, that the reaction that Russell Westbrook displayed was because of what that young man said. Sit down and put ice on your knees. And it caused Russ to lose his you-know-what like he did.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt at all that guy probably said way more than what he said on the interview. I bet you he probably said a bunch of things that could really push somebody's buttons, whether it be racial and all types of areas. That guy probably said. And of course he's going to lie and say, oh, we didn't say anything. We didn't do anything. Westbrook's not just going to go crazy like that for no reason. So I have no doubt that he said that. No doubt. But, again, Westbrook, you've got way more to lose than they do. As long as they didn't put their hands on you, you're good to go. Now, if you're out in the street, will they do that? Like people have said before? Of course not. Of course not. If you have a problem with some of those fans, you can't take care of that. That's what security is there for. I would get on the security of the stadium. I'd be like, why are you guys letting these people do this? Why these people are getting too close? Even if it's words, just walk away. Sticks and stones. If I'm making millions of dollars a year, there's nothing you can say to me that's gonna make me go crazy. There's nothing you can say to me that's gonna make me go crazy and jeopardize that money. You just can't do it. Again, sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt me. Now, I'm not agreeing with them, but you got to be a little bit more sharper. Let's keep going.
Skip, I don't believe it. And going by, this gentleman had deleted every tweet that he had set forth except last night, leads me to believe that there's more to this than what he said. It's hard for me to believe that that's what elicited the response that Russ gave him. Skip, what we're seeing, Skip, you and I both, we use social media. I'm probably on it a little bit more than you. But what social media has done is broken down these barriers, and it's allowed people to, in their computer, on their phone, at home or at work or wherever they may be, to be able to say whatever they want to an athlete, because most athletes have social media pages, be it Instagram, be it Twitter, Snap, whatever it is. And it's allowed people to be able to type, hit send, and it goes to that person's account. Well, what happens is that when you go to a game, there is no barrier. You can't go to a game. I don't care if you paid $50 million for a seat. You don't get to go to a game, Skip, and call someone out of their name. Talk about someone's wife. Talk about someone's mother. You don't have that right. The more money you...
Exactly, Shannon. You don't have your right to do that, and they shouldn't be doing it. But at the same time, you can't retaliate and get a bunch of fools up there in the stands. Now, I completely understand. Westbrook's at work. He's working. And you can't have people. What if somebody came up to your work, wherever you work, in a restaurant, at a store, wherever, in the office, and somebody came up to you at your desk and started cussing you out and started talking about your mom, started talking about your wife, started talking about your kids? You'd be mad, wouldn't you? Like, what are you doing? I'm up here at work, and you're going to go talk about my family? You're going to talk about my people? Nobody wants that. It's the same thing as going to a basketball game or any type of sports game, and you're going to sit there and talk about a player's family? You can't do that. You can't do that at all. But on the other hand, if I was at work and that were to happen, I would call security. I would get that person removed because I'm not going to get fired. I'm not going to get jeopardized because somebody is saying something to me. Now, at the same time, if somebody put their hands on me, that's a whole nother ball game. There's going to be consequences and repercussions if you put your hands on me. I guarantee you it. I guarantee you it. And it's the same thing at these basketball, football, baseball, whatever type of sporting event. If they say something to you while you're at work, you get security. You get them to handle it, and then you just walk off. You walk off. No problem. But if they put your hands on you while you're walking on the court, if they cut your hands on you on the football field, oh, it's go time. You allowed me to do what I need to do to protect myself. It's going to be consequences and repercussions if you put your hands on me. Now, again, last week, Westbrook had a situation, or 2 weeks ago, Westbrook had a situation where some little kid put his hands on him. Now, I'm not saying don't take down a little kid. Don't do that. Westbrook handled it appropriately. Talk to the kid's dad, like, look, don't have your kids, don't be touching people. And he handled it well. Okay, but it's really tough. It's really tough when people do that where you work. But you kind of have to deal with it. Let's keep going on.
It gives you closer access to the action, not to be a part of the action. These players do not come to work to have you touch them. Skip, when a player wants to be touched, and you've seen this so many times, you've been to games, covering the game. A player gets an and one, or he gets a big play, he gets amped. When he wants to be touched by a fan, he starts dapping up the fans. That's the invitation. I want to be touched. Until then, don't do it. Skip, the guy, I forget his name, I can't think of his name, but he was a Wizard guy. And he would heckle everybody.
I don't care about what his name is, but he became famous for heckling. Yeah.
Sure.
No curse words. Mm-hmm. He would dress up, say things, oh, you terrible, our team's better than yours. I get the heckling, Skip. Mm-hmm. If that gentleman wanted to say, Russ, you are terrible. Donovan Mitchell is 50 times better than you. Mm-hmm. Got no problem with that. Russ understands being a professional athlete. People are going to come to the game. They're going to try to get you riled up by heckling you, saying their team's better than yours. Mm-hmm. Our player is better than you are. Got no problem with that. Mm-hmm. But when you start talking about, he said, get on your knees like you used to. There are some tweets that would lead you to believe
there have been
that is what that man said.
From the past, yes.
From the past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll stop it right there, Shannon. The key word here is what he said. What he said. Like I said before, there's nothing you can say to me that's going to make me jeopardize my contract. There's nothing you can say to me that's going to jeopardize my career in the NBA and tarnish my reputation. There's nothing you can say to me. You can talk about my mom. You can talk about my wife. You can talk about my kids. You can talk about whatever. There's nothing you can say to me that's going to make me jeopardize what I have going on right now. And it's most likely better than what you have going on right now. So there's nothing you can say. Is it terrible? Is it bad? Does it suck that I have to do that? Yes, it does. But I'm not going to jeopardize everything I've had and worked for to go take care of somebody in the stands and his wife who won't shut up. And you know they wouldn't say that to you on the street in your face. I'm not jeopardizing that. You get security to take care of that and get them out of here. And I'm going to go off, drive off with my Bentley, go to my mansion and everything that goes along with that. Just like the situation that happened with LeBron James. Remember what happened with LeBron James a couple years ago? He's walking off a game. I think they lost. And some lady like 10 feet away from him was like, hey, LeBron, how's it feel to be a punk little B? And then he stopped to look and security jumped on it. He's like, hey, woman. Hey, you guys can check out that video. Check out that video and the way LeBron handled that. So let's keep going.
It's hard for me to believe, Skip, like I said.
Do you want to read that one real quick from October? Read the bottom one.
Bottom. He says he also tweeted in October, Russell needs to go back where he came from.
And then what else?
No, I want that because...
Care about that?
No, I don't care about that because that'll take... Because then people going to say, oh, it's just because, Shannon, you feel this way because he supports this guy.
Okay.
I don't want that.
All right, that's fair.
All right.
That leads me to believe why he said that.
Okay.
Gives Russ even more credibility that he said what Russ said he said. And instead of his wife being, babe, come on now, you going too far, Russ says she echoed what he said. What Russ should have said, don't threaten her. Bruh, your wife gonna call you to take one tonight. Now, Russ was for real.
Exactly, Shannon. Exactly. That's exactly what you do. You give them stern warning, like, look, man, look, lady, don't say anything to me. Get your husband to talk to me. Get your husband to talk to me, because if it gets real, it's gonna be me and him, and not you. And also, don't have your husband catch a beating because you're running your mouth. I've had to deal with that a couple times, but that's for another video. Let's keep going.
Excuse me, Skip. Russ was dead serious. You know how I know he was serious? When he said, I put that on everything I love.
He did.
In our community, when we say we put that on everything we love, that's your first warning. Now, when he said...
By the way, in any community, you do that.
Skip.
Any community.
If he said, I put that on my mom...
That is true. I'll give it to you, Skip. It doesn't matter what community you're from. If you start talking about, I put that on everything I love, I put that on my family, I put that on my mom, I put that on my kids. Everybody has kids. Everybody has a mom. Everybody has everything. All right? So if you put that on the things you love the most, you like the most, it doesn't matter where you come from. That means be careful. Be careful. Let's keep going.
Yep.
Now you're going to have to do something.
Yep.
Now, Russ understands.
I agree.
Skip, Russ understands that in this environment, and I think the guy understands that he is no longer behind his computer screen. So there's that, the barrier has been removed. That imaginary barrier is no longer there. For me, and I always ask, you say what you say behind your computer screen. If you saw me walking down the street, if he saw Russ walking down the street in Utah, do you think he and his wife would walk up to Russ, get on your knees like you used to? Do you believe he would have said that? You see, what happens, Skip, is that he knows Russ is a professional athlete, and I should be able to say, what makes me almost as angry as the people that say these things is the people that say, if I made that kind of money, you could talk to me any kind of way you wanted to. No, you can't.
No.
Because guess what, Skip? Before I made this money, I was a man. I was a human being, and I demand respect. You ain't got to respect me, but I won't let you disrespect me. Skip, you know, we saw a situation and I know what happened, Skip, is that we saw Russ, the way he reacted last week in Denver. Russ didn't fly off the handle. Russ turned around and looked. He looked real quick. He's like, so I was a kid, explained to his dad, you don't let your kid go around touching people. He explained, come on, young man, you don't do that. We saw a situation in, I think in England soccer. Fan ran on the field, clocked the guy.
Okay, that's the flip side, but go ahead. Yeah.
How does Russ know?
You don't know.
He's getting agitated. He's saying more and more. He's saying more and more. So how does Russ know? Where's the line? At some point in time, the NBA needs to take a hard stance. Once it becomes racial, once you talk about somebody's wife or parents, you got to go. And don't pass out no card. In Utah, they hand out warning cards. Nah, bruh. Don't hand out no warning cards.
Yeah, so there's going to be no warnings. But once again, I'll be seriously looking at security. If a player, if a fan is able to run out of the stands, get on the field, and get to me and touch me, there's a problem with security. There's a major problem with security. Because what if that soccer player would have been stabbed? What if that fan had a knife on him and was able to stab him? I think a couple years ago, there was a tennis player that got stabbed, a female tennis player that got stabbed in the back by a fan that ran onto the court and stabbed her. We're going to have a major problem with security. I would sue the security force. I would sue the stadium. I would sue the owner to let these fans get close enough to me while I'm doing my job, minding my own business, and someone's able to come and attack me. Oh, we're going to have problems. We're going to have major problems. So let's keep going.
Going too far, Skip, and they're ratcheting up this racial because I believe Russ. I do not believe Russ reacted the way he did because this gentleman told him to put ice on his knees.
Exactly, Shannon. And let me reiterate that I'm not siding with the fans. I'm just saying I think Westbrook handled it appropriately. But I just think that he has I have so much respect, and so I look up to Westbrook so much and these basketball players and athletes that you've worked so hard to get to where you're at. You're a professional. You're at the top of your game. You're an example of how I would like to be, how I want my kids to be, how I hope people get to be, is that don't respond to these people. These are small, petty people that are probably drunk. You up here at the top of your game running around. You're aware. You know what's going on. Don't let these people knock you off. Don't play into their trash and trying to get you in trouble or to have them be able to get a payday off of you. That's what I'm saying. I'm fully aware that fan probably did say something to him. I have no doubt about it. It probably happens every single game where Westbrook's at and all these players are at. But don't play into it. As long as they don't put your hands on you, let security take care of it. Walk away. Don't even worry about it, no matter what they say. Because there's nothing you can say to me that's going to make me lose my career. It's going to make me tarnish my reputation. It's going to make me lose millions of dollars because someone said something to me. Because in 10 years, looking down the road, I'm like, man, I shouldn't even worry about what the person said to me now that I'm broke. No. There's nothing you can say to me. Once again, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Now, when those stones start flying and those sticks start flying, or somebody puts their hands on you, then you take care of business. But other than that, I'm sorry, you can't get me. That's just me. You can never say anything to me to get me to do my thing. So let's keep going.
Russ was 99% inbounds. Now, I don't like the fact that but I don't believe Russ was going to put his hand on his wife. Russ at that.
I would like to say that too, Shannon. I do not believe for 1 second that Westbrook would have put his hands on that woman's wife, or put his hands on that man's wife. I don't think he would ever hit a woman. I don't think he would touch a woman. I don't think he would do anything like that. I completely side with Westbrook. He was just giving stern warning. He was giving warning. Look, sir, get your wife to please calm down, and you please calm down too. I don't want this to escalate. You know, we're talking now. I'm just trying to conversate with you. Please leave me alone. I do not believe for 1 moment Westbrook would have put his hands on a woman. Ever. So let's keep going.
Point was warning. Okay, now, I've had enough. Mm-hmm. You said what you said. Let it go. That's why he said what he said. I'm not condoning it, but I do not believe Russell Westbrook was going to go up there and strike that man's wife. Now, maybe the man's a different story, but
the man is a different story. Now, if it gets to the point where we have to go hands-on, me and that man, okay, then I'll take care of that. But I'll never go hands-on with the woman. Never go hands-on unless she comes at me with a gun, a knife, or something like that. If we're conversating, there's nothing any woman or anybody can say to me, again, that's going to make me get physical with you. There's nothing you can say because you can't get me like that. But once again, I have respect for Westbrook. I may talk trash on my videos. I may talk trash. In my thumbnails, I may talk trash. But I'm not going to go to a game and actually say something that offensive to a player like that. I wouldn't want somebody to do it to me, so I'm not going to do it to them. Now, am I going to heckle a little bit? Am I going to, play a little bit of games? Yes. But I'm not going to get to the point where I'm talking about somebody's mom, somebody's wife, somebody's kids. And I'm surely not going to do it to their face like that because that's just disrespectful. That's just disrespectful. Now, watch my next video. I'm talking trash. All right. Anyways, let's keep going.
Russ was trying to give you fair enough warning to leave well enough alone. It's hard for me to believe. And he was just matter of fact. I just told him, and the guy asked me, Skip, you can say things, racial epithets are not swear words. So it didn't mean you mofoed him or SOB'd him or anything like that.
No.
But you could have said something else. That's a trigger.
Yeah.
Exactly, Shannon. That guy's trying to act all innocent. Like, I never cussed him out. But did you say some key words? Did you say some trigger words? You probably did. There's no doubt that he said that. And you probably said some triggering tweets. You probably did. No doubt. And now we're trying to play the innocent fan that Westbrook was trying to beat up. Oh, don't lie. Be a man and admit to what you said that may have triggered Westbrook. He's not going to do it. But at the same time, there's nothing you can say to me to get me off my game. I'm too much in control of me. You don't control me like that. So let's keep going.
I agree. This has many layers to it.
Very.
So I've had a lot of experience in Salt Lake City with that crowd covering big playoff games, many of them played by Michael Jordan. And that place has a reputation for some of the most vicious insults in the NBA.
So before this video cuts off, I want you fans, I want you people out there, anybody watching this video, if people think sports in America are bad, if people think that you have hecklers are bad and football, baseball, and basketball in America, I want you to look at some of those videos that come out of Europe, some of those soccer games in Europe, how you have a whole stadium of fans yelling racial slurs. Like, if Germany were to play Nigeria, can you imagine all the racial slurs that come out? It's been to the point where fans were throwing bananas on the field to some of the black players. I mean, soccer is very racist in other countries. So, athletes in America, we have it bad here, but just to take notes about how other athletes handle it in other countries, it's terrible. Soccer fans are terrible in other countries. They're super racist, and it can completely push your buttons. So that's just a little something you guys can look at to make comparisons of what we deal with and what other countries deal with sports and heckling and all that. But you can't get me. You can't say anything to make me jump off. Let's keep going.
It's a crazy, lively crowd, and I respect that part of it. It's sort of a small town basketball crowd where
that's all they have.
That's all they have.
Yep.
And they go crazy, and it gets